Hey, welcome back to the channel. I think you saw in the last video that I got the turnbuckles on. I got the rudder cables all installed, and I was just working on a couple graphics. I read a little bit about what this is. It has to do with radio, like where radio equipment or antennas or whatever would be located. I'm sure Augie, you can tell us in the comments exactly what the WT actually meant. It's just one of the markings that I happen to like, so I've got it on either side of the tail, and I've got it back here on the headrest, which is cool. And I was going to tell you that my registration problem, because I called the FAA because I kept seeing the date just get kicked out further, and the issue was actually me. Go figure, right? So here's what happened. Their online registration process is not fully functional. And I used just strictly the online portion and attached my documents and did everything. I made my $5 payment for the registration, and I did all of that. But for some reason, their system didn't pick up that I had paid my $5. So when I called the guy at the FAA, who was very nice, by the way, he said that it was just sitting there waiting for my $5 payment, and which I paid back on December 29th or somewhere around there. And anyway, long story short, I got a letter in January that alerted me that I hadn't paid my $5. And so I just hit reply to the email and and attached my proof of payment. I would have gladly paid it again. And it went to the wrong place. So even though I thought I had already taken care of that and it was all good, it wasn't, because it went to the wrong place. There's a very specific email that has to go to. And so this gentleman sent me an email and said, send it to this email right here, and I'll grab your file, I'll look for it, and as soon as I see it, then I'll be able to attach it. And within 2 days, I got my registration. So he did say that I could share that, it's taking them about 6 to 8 weeks right now to process. So much better than 6 months or 5 months, however long that's been. But 6 to 8 weeks seems reasonable. So I put my tail number on, and you can see that on either side, just to celebrate the fact that I got my registration. So that's really good news. Now there's nothing standing in my way except getting finished and getting with the DAR, but that has to happen at the airport because he needs to see the plane run and stuff like that. So it's getting a hangar would be the next important thing. So, and I'm like number 4, I believe, on the list at one airport, and I'm number 6 on the list at the other airport. So getting closer to that. Let's see. What I'm working on now is, I just thought I would spend a little time today and just kind of kick around. I've been wanting to develop this method of how I'm going to paint my roundels. And so here's what I came up with. So I have just kind of a wooden piece that I made in the middle. I'll take this off and I'll show it to you. And it has just a brass tube inserted in it, and then I have this music wire. And what I did is I took 2 pieces of aluminum. One acts like a collar with a set screw in it, and the other one is just the right diameter inside to hold the pencil And all I do is I just take this fixture here. I put this in the center where I want it, and this length will allow me to make any of the roundels that I need to make. So all you do is just put this in here and put your pencil down against the surface, and you just rotate. And you can see I've already drawn this line, but you get a nice circle. Then you can set that wherever you want. And I had the circle in the wrong location the first time, so this is my second time around. Then you just put that wherever you want, and it works really, really well. And so this is what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to paint this white overall, like one coat of white, and then I will come back. This one, oh, here's the wooden fixture. It's just, they're kind of just set into each other, and just a brass tube in the middle, and you just put that right where you want it, and then draw your circles. And then this is actually 3 inches, so it's let's see, actually it's less than 3 inches. These will be about 1.5 inches, I think. Yeah, these will be 1.5 inches, and this is the one that has the yellow in it, white, yellow, red, and I'll just show you a picture of it here. You all know what this one is, but this one's on either side of the plane, and it's also the one that's on the bottom of the wing, and on the top is the big blue field with the red dot in the middle. So yeah, so I have some tape here that I experimented with, and it actually worked out perfect. It's actually a 3M 471 plus tape, and it really allows you to go around a circle like that really easily. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So what's great about this tape is you just get it started, and as you move around, all you do is just press it down where you want it. And it makes these bends with no issues at all. So, and it stays nice and flat. Most tapes will want to like buckle. You can get this on Amazon. I bought it the first time at a automotive store, and it's actually less expensive on Amazon, which I'm sure it's not always the case, but in this case it happened to be the case. Yeah, so this is how this goes. You just work your way around, and its tape is like magic. Now, I thought about stenciling and going that route, more authentic for sure, because I'm sure they use stencils in reality. But when you come to the top of the wing, it's just going to be so much harder to do without a flat surface. So I'm just going to be painting these by hand, and I'm confident that I can pull that off. So all right, so there we go. And that should give us a nice clean edge all the way around, and I feel good about the circle. Once I get the white painted, I'll put my fixture back in here. It's real easy to center it back up just by holding it and moving the pencil over and then moving it over here, and you can find your center again pretty easy. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to grab some white paint, and we're going to get this painted. And then where the second 1.5 inch is in this area, kind of right here, I'll actually probably give that a second coat, so I don't have to come back and do that a second time. I'll just be able to paint the yellow and keep moving. So, all right, we're just gonna let that first coat now dry a little bit, and then we'll come back and like I said, I'll put another coat just in the white area, and then the next one we'll mark off. We'll leave the tape that's on there, and then we'll add the next tape, which will be 1.5 inch in, and that'll be for the yellow ring, and we'll just work our way to the middle. So all right, so I've got the rubber here. You can see right there, and the rubber on the bottom, and I had to use a thinner piece of rubber in the front edge because 2 of the thicker ones just wouldn't fit that way. But with those 2 in there, it's not moving forward and back at all, so that's definitely accomplishing what I was looking for with that. So now I've got to take the pieces of material that we're going to use, and what the plan is to use a piece of this 1/4 by what I believe is 1.25 inch for one part of the hold down, and then probably this one here is like 1/2 by 5/8, I think. Just measure it real quick and find out. Tape measure. I don't really have. If I go all the way down to 3/4, I've got to go all the way back here, which might not be a bad idea. And then that 1/4 would be like in here somewhere, just behind the filler neck, and then that the other piece would be back here, and that may actually work out really well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold it down toward the rear and then up here by the filler neck. So let me get a measurement here. We're going to go, let's see, we are so about 14 3/4 inches. And then what will happen is those will get screwed. They'll get attached through here. So, and before I do that too, I'm going to mark out where my other holes are going to be roughly, so I can try and make sure that I fall in between the screws that are actually going to be holding the Lexan cover on. So, all right, let me do some marking here. All right, so I got these in here, and it's going to work out really good. This one has, it'll have just enough room to get a little foam underneath it, a thin layer of foam under it. This one I was actually able to get one of the thicker pieces of foam underneath it, and that'll give it a good cushion. Not necessarily a cushion, just trying to keep the aluminum from rubbing on the wood. And anywhere I find where this could potentially rub, which it could, I'll end up kind of stuffing some adhesive foam in there, and probably up next to these gussets here as well. and we just want to make sure that we don't have any area where vibration is just causing the fuel tank to erode the structure, so or the structure to erode the fuel tank. So other than that, we're in really good shape as far as that goes. And so I'll be countersinking a hole here to go into this. I'll drill it in. I'll end up hardening the threads on these. This one I will actually end up putting maybe a piece of 16th inch plywood on the underside to keep it from splitting out over time, since my grain is going the opposite direction. So that'll work out good for that. And that's just need a little reinforcement where the screw is. This one we're going cross grain, so I'm not concerned about that. We're in good shape there. And yeah, so I think that's going to be great. I mean, it's way more fuel than I'm going to end up carrying. It's 6.5 gallons on each side. More than likely, I'm not going to carry more than 4 gallons on each side. But if I can handle it and I ever need it and I want to go a long ways, I've got it available. So yeah, so this tank will get the it'll get its brass fitting installed, and that's right here, and that will actually be it'll come, you can see the fitting for it there, and it'll end up basically pointing this way like so. So then we'll be able to come straight out our hole, which is right there, and that lines up with the grommets you see on the side of the fuselage there. So okay, I'm going to check on my paint and see if we can go to the next step. All right, so this actually dries pretty fast, so now we just have to move we've got to move in 1.5 inches. So we're going to go from 6. All right, so the first thing we got to do is we got to get lined up. Pencil here, and just going to test it out. Just double check that. Okay. All right, now we can move this in 1.5 inches, which gives us, we lose 3 inches of our circle overall. Okay. And that's going to put us right there. And now we just tape that off. I'll be back. All right, because the paint was drying so fast, I actually have added just a slight amount of Floetrol to this, so to the yellow, which will certainly help matters a bit. The white will be a nice primer for the yellow. Plus, we'll get a much brighter color that way. So there's the yellow, and I have you notice I left the thing in place, so when I draw the blue one, all I have to do is move my thing in. I don't have to change anything there. Then I'll have to tape off on the yellow and for the blue, so that'll be another just kind of a double tape. But that looks pretty good. I must have rubbed a little white from my fingers when I was rubbing the tape down on here, but I'll touch that up with green later. I've got other areas, hanger rash and stuff, that's gonna have to be touched up anyway, so whenever I'm doing that, I'll get that. But that looks good. I'm really happy with that. So, all right, so let that dry, and then we'll go on to painting the blue. Okay. All right, so I got my roundel finished out yesterday, and I think it looks great. So really happy with the technique. It makes a nice and accurate circles, and taping off the big circles was worked out well. I did have to hand paint the center one, but I just used a smaller brush and was able to work that out without any trouble. So the HurriMax is starting to look good. So now what I'm going to work on is I have the wire sheathing that I need, like this stuff here, coming tomorrow to take care of these wires under here. I'll be able to bundle those and wrap them up and get them strapped to the deck. And then I have some 1/8 inch tubing that is coming from my pitot and static tubes here, and that will run down through the hole there, and it's going to actually be what connects to the 1/4 inch here. And I'll just have to have a I'll use a quarter inch to 1/8 inch brass piece. I guess they call it a reducer. And then we'll be able to connect. We'll be able to make our connections right here, and then kind of tie those up underneath here, so that they stay kind of up and out of the way. And of course this one is going to come out of the left wing, just a couple inches forward of where the bracket is, so it'll actually be, or I'm sorry, it's a couple inches aft of where the bracket is. So that actually puts that basically right up here somewhere, so I'll be able to get those connections in the same location, and that'll work out really good. Then I don't have to jump in here to make any connections. I'll just use 1/8 inch ID hose to get me down and out, and then I can make all the connections easily in the cockpit right there. And then I can actually, I'm at a place, once I get that done and get these wires wrapped up, I'll be at a spot where I can close up the instrument panel and put my canopy on, so my windscreen, which is over there. So yeah, and I was gonna show you, it actually is gonna work out really well for me to use my leather pouch. It's just gonna be in a different location than I was anticipating, so I had designed it to go over here, but my field tubing is going to run right through there, so no matter how I orient it, but it actually goes really well right up here, so I'm going to be able to put that basically right here somewhere, and that's going to work out good. Then my little pin holder will be just right by my left leg, and I'll be able to easily access the charts and stuff, whatever I might want to put in there. I just have to lower it, probably have to lower it down to make some clearance there, but it seems like that's going to work out good. And I've just got some Velcro to deal with that, so yeah. Alright, so the next thing is I want to get the leading edge and that tip sealed up, and then I'm going to flip the wing over and do the sealing of the fabric on the bottom, and once I'm done with that, then I'll be able to actually get the bottom painted, and then we'll flip the wing over and do the same thing. We'll get the top painted at that time as well. So I'm going to work on those things next, but hey, for this video, it's going to be it for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later.